Hello from the University at Buffalo School of Nursing. My name is Kyle Cortley. I'm the Associate Director of Recruitment and Enrollment here at UB, and I'm here today just to share some application tips specifically regarding the University at Buffalo application. This is going to be a series of webinars that we're going to be doing. So this first one is just going to cover the general application itself, and then our following ones will cover the various pieces of the application that will kind of be briefly mentioned today, but we'll dive into more detail in the future sessions. So just to start off with some important points to know about the application to our graduate programs. So there is one UB graduate application. All programs at UB use this same application. So it's really important to make sure that as you're going through, you're selecting the correct program and the correct school. Because again, every school, every program is going to use the same application, and it is our own application. So it's not through an outside website. It's not like a common application or a SUNY application. It's very specific to UB and to our programs. The other important point to note is that you are only going to be able to apply to the program of your choice during the application period. So sometimes I'll hear from students and they'll say that they started to fill out the application, they filled in basic information, but then it wasn't their program time. So then they were hoping to just be able to add it later. That's not going to work. If you fill out an application prior to or after the application period for the program that you want, you're not going to be able to select that program. The application is not going to work for you. So make sure that you are seeing the program that you desire as active within that application period before you go and start to fill it out. I apologize that this is very small, but hopefully you can see. And I put the link to our website where you can find this as well. But in order to access the application, if you are on our main website and you go to the graduate section and then to admissions or application instructions, at the very bottom, you're going to see a little orange bar, and that's going to say apply to graduate programs. That's the link that you're going to want to click in order to be able to access the UB application. You can also see at the very top, we have the list of the current applications that are open. And then we have, the calendar of when those applications opened and when those applications are due. So you'll also be able to double check here whether we are currently accepting applications for the program of your choice. When you click that orange button, this is the screen that you are going to be taken to. And again, this is just kind of the general graduate school application manager for all of UB. If you had previously applied to any graduate program at the University at Buffalo, you may be able to log in and be able to start a new application for a different program. If you are a brand new applicant, first time user, have never applied to any program at UB, you would want to do the first time users and you would have to create an account in order to start an application. So once you click that button, you'll see here at the bottom, it would have a list of your applications if you had applied previously. And if not, it would look just like this, which says that you have not started any applications using this account. And you would want to click that button right there at the bottom, that circle that says start a new application. Once you click that, that's when you're going to designate the correct school of study for your application. So the application type is just application, and then you want to make sure that the School of Nursing is selected. You will be able to pick the program later on. I'll show that in a second, but we just want to start with the very basic School of Nursing, and then you will click that Create Application button. Now this here, and you'll see on the left-hand side, this is the section titled Program of Study, is where you're going to designate the specific program that you are applying to. So you're going to start, step number one is to choose the correct term that you are applying to. So if you're applying for a fall start, a spring start, a summer start, right, you would need to designate with that term. So for this, I'm just doing fall 2026 to show you as an example. Next, that's going to give you the list of available degree programs, and this is the SMART system. So if you're choosing fall 2026 and a PhD is not offered in the fall 2026, it wouldn't show up as an option. Of course, for us, it is, which is why it is there. So you'll select the degree program that you're applying to. And then at the bottom, the third step there, you'll see is the concentration track or specialization. So this is where we're designating between whether you are applying on a post-baccalaureate track, maybe an early assurance admission, or a post-master's track if that is applicable to your program. So really where you're going to see this in particular is with our DNP programs, with our family nurse practitioner, our psych mental health nurse practitioner, and our adult gerontology nurse practitioner programs, because those do have a postmaster's track, which is designed for students who already have a master's degree and are already currently practicing within that specialty, already have that certification, but are looking to continue their education, versus the post-baccalaureate track, is kind of just the standard DNP program. And that would also be for students who have master's degrees, but are looking to change specialties. And so are looking to do a different DNP program than maybe an area where they're already practicing. So that's that concentration track specialization piece of it. If you have any questions about what the correct track is, you are certainly welcome to contact me, and I would be happy to let you know which one is going to be the most appropriate for your situation. I'm skipping kind of the other sections here, but you'll see as you go through, you're just filling out personal information, some background questions, information about your academic background, and then we at the School of Nursing have some questions that you answer as well, regarding where your RN license is from, when it expires, right? Just kind of the basic information. Again, if there's any questions as you're going through and filling out those sections, please feel free to contact me, but they should be fairly straightforward. What I did want to show here is at the very end, you're going to get to this last section, which says review. And this is going to automatically do a check of your entire application. And if there are any sections that you have missed, it will let you know here. So you'll see this yellow box that says we've detected errors with your application, and it'll let you know where those errors occur, and you'll be able to click them and correct that information before you submit. You can also see that at the bottom, there is a button that says save for later. So if you are in there and you're filling out some information and then you need to run, you can't finish it all at once, that's totally fine. You can hit that save for later button. And again, this is where it's nice that we have this check at the very end, so that if you did save it for later and then you went back in and you maybe missed some information, we would do that check for you to make sure that everything was filled in. Once you submit your application, this is very important. You are going to need to look out for this email. This email is giving you access to the UB status portal. And the UB status portal is where you're going to upload all of your supporting documents, like your personal statement, your CV or your resume, any other documents that you wanted to submit to us. If you wanted to upload self-uploads of transcripts, you would do that in there as well. This is also where the link is to pay your application, and this is ultimately where you are going to receive your decision from the university at Buffalo, whether or not you were accepted into your program. So really, really important that you are keeping an eye out for this email and that you are following the instructions to set up that status portal, because that is where all of the information is going to live afterwards. So this is an example of what the status portal is going to look like once you get this all set up. You can see at the very top, that's the link to be able to pay your application fee. Of course, this is very important because we are not going to be able to proceed with reviewing your application until we have received that application fee, unless you are receiving a waiver. Next, you're going to see the information about the personal statement, right? Again, the personal statement is something that's going to be uploaded to the status portal after you have submitted the application, and it is specific to the School of Nursing. So we provide you a link to the questions that you need to answer as part of the personal statement. That's going to be right there where the arrow is showing. You'll also see a checklist down at the bottom, so you can look to see what documents are still missing as part of your application. This in particular is helpful for letters of recommendation, right, as you're checking to see whether those have been submitted or not. All of that is going to be available on this checklist here. And then, as I had mentioned, if you do need to upload any documents, that's going to be at the very bottom under this upload materials. So that is where you'd be able to upload again the personal statement, if you have some unofficial transcripts that you wanted to upload, or any other documents that you wanted to add as part of the application, a copy of your RN license, right? Again, a resume, CV, all of those are going to be right in here. And you'll see you can select the appropriate document type. You'll click choose file, and then you can just upload it right there. And then you should pretty quickly see it check off in the status checklist as well to show that it's been received and uploaded to your application. So that's really just a quick overview of the UB application itself. Again, I am going to be diving into the specific pieces, such as the transcripts, the letters of recommendation, the resume, CV, the personal statement in future webinars. So definitely be sure to check those out. And in the meantime, if you do have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Thanks so much.